All right, Shalom. I want to start off, as always, by giving all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Racha HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone. I want to send much love into the brothers out there doing his work in truth and sincerity. And also want to send peace and blessings unto the believers of the hopeful elect. And in this morning's lesson, I wanted to say a few words concerning Saudi Arabia not renewing their petrodollar deal, pretty much, with America. And this is a very key moment in prophecy, all right, because we know that for the past 50 years, right, Saudi Arabia has been selling their oil in dollars, and that has made America a very rich country, or a very powerful country. And pretty much all the nations, they use the petrodollar, right, to buy oil, right? And it's a world reserve currency, man. But now what you're pretty much seeing is that these nations are ditching the dollar, right? Not all together, all right, but they're ditching the dollar, and they're starting to use their own currencies, right, to trade in oil and other goods, right? But this is very interesting, man. Okay, now just I'm gonna say this real quick, man. If all these nations, right, if all of them ditch the dollar, okay, if they all ditch the American dollar, it will cause a global collapse. Okay, every economy around the world will collapse because their economy depends on the dollar. But guess what? That's what the elites want. Really, that's what the Most High wants. Okay, He wants the global economic system to collapse so that they can bring in this new digital system. Okay, it's all a part of the plan, man. All of this stuff is going to lead to the MOTB. Okay, in which we've been preaching about for a long time, man. All right, starting with the apostles and the elders, we've been talking about this. Okay, and we're seeing all of these events and different things happening that's leading to the MOTB system. Okay, so don't think that, oh my God, they're just doing this, just all of a sudden. No, it's a plan behind this. All right, it's a plan. It's a system behind this, man. Once the world economy collapses, Esau going to bring in that new digital system immediately. Okay, this is going to cause all hell to break loose, man. So I want to play a little bit of this video here from Jimmy Dore. All right. Did not say a few words, and I get a few precepts, and Lord willing, this be edifying. So here we go.
Finally happened. Saudi Arabia's petrodollar exit, a global finance paradigm shift. The financial world is bracing for a significant upheaval following Saudi Arabia's decision not to renew its 50-year petrodollar deal with the United States, which expired on Sunday, June 9th. So I know I talk about the petrodollar. I don't know anyone else who ever brings it up. But it's why we have such a close relationship with Saudi Arabia. It has a lot to do with why we do a lot of the wars we do, especially Yemen. So here is a explainer. This is Marin Kafusa. I don't know, how do you say that name? Katusa. He's the author of 2014's The Colder War, How the Global Energy Trade Slipped from America's Grasp. So here's just a few minutes that's going to explain it to you better than I can.
The petrodollar is actually a device invented by Kissinger and Nixon.
The standard of living of all Americans can be traced back to here, the vast oil-rich deserts of Saudi Arabia.
In the early 70s, after the Arab crisis happened with the oil embargoes, OPEC basically tripled the price of oil to the Western world. And at that time, America realized that they were vulnerable because they were importing about 70% of all the oil they consumed.
To secure a reliable foreign source of oil, U.S. President Richard Nixon sent his Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, Henry Kissinger, to Saudi Arabia for a secret meeting. The result was a pact that still stands to this day.
If Saudi Arabia, which at the time was the world's largest producer of oil, would sell the oil in US dollars, America would defend Saudi Arabia and make sure the House Assad would stay in power.
As a direct result of this U.S.-Saudi agreement, all other oil-producing nations also adopted the dollar as the de facto medium of exchange. Demand for it increased exponentially all over the world, and soon it had a new name: the petrodollar.
Your currency is only as strong as the demand for it, just like anything else, the supply and demand. Why the petrodollar is important? It causes a demand for the US dollar. A lot of Americans don't realize that over 70% of all the $100 bills in the world are actually outside of the US. There's more $100 bills in Russia than there are in America.
This stockpile of US dollars in countries around the world is because oil is bought and sold using the greenback.
If oil starts trading in non-petrodollars, such as gold or a basket of currencies, or if China and Russia start trading in yuan and ruble rather than US dollars, that demand isn't there. And the way of life for the average American will be done. It will be worse than the Great Depression.
Did you hear that? Okay. Did you hear that, man? Life for the average American will be worse, right, than the Great Depression. It's going to cause all hell to break loose, man. All right? And this is what the elites want. Really is what Yahweh Shem Shai wants. All right? It's not going to only cause hell for the average American citizen, but all around the world, because the world is tied to the petrodollar. Once they all drop it, so-called, and stop using it, their economies are going to go belly up. China, Russia, whoever. All right? It's going to cause hell, man. And you want to talk about hyperinflation? Right? We're dealing with inflation, you know. But hyperinflation is going to happen, man. It's going to be hard in these streets, bro. This is not a game, okay? And the scripture speaks about hyperinflation, right? If you go to Revelation chapter 6, all right, about the third seal, this is Revelation chapter 6 and 5, the NLT, it says, when the Lamb broke the third seal, I heard the living being say, come. I looked up and saw a black horse, and its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard a voice from among the four living beings say, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cause a day's pay. What is that? That is hyperinflation, man. It's going to get serious out here, bro. Right? And the scripture speaks about all hell breaking loose, man. It's known as Jacob's trouble. All right? It says, and don't waste the olive oil and wine, which is going into the truth. All right? Pretty much don't, harm the truth. Right? Because wisdom and knowledge, as the scriptures say, shall be the stability of our time. All right? The oil and the wine representing the truth, man, this word. So it's going to get real. Okay? It's going to get real, man. And we know that the average American, all right, is pretty much on edge right now, you know. People living from check to check. Hard to make ends meet, hard to pay bills. Is hard to keep up with life here, man. And this is why homelessness is on a rise. Crime is on a rise. I mean, it's getting crazy in these streets. But man, oh man, when this economy collapsed, bro, when Babylon collapsed and things go left, these so-called civilized Americans, right? These so-called civilized citizens will get nasty. Okay, they're gonna get nasty and very ugly and brutal with each other, man. You watch and see, bro. Okay. Second Ezra 15 don't say what it says for no reason, man. People gonna real deal take each other's lives. That's how serious it's going to get. All right. So I'm gonna play this small portion again, man, because that's very heavy. Because I'm over here, in Babylon and Great America, man. And these people are already crazy, bro. So, Babylon going belly up is going to make it even worse. So here we go.
Than US dollars, that demand isn't there. And the way of life for the average American will be done. It will be worse than the Great Depression.
Now, let me go to 2 Ezra 15. Right, this 2 Ezra chapter 15, because Ezra speaks about these things, man. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. It says, the world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. And what's that war? That's the war of Armageddon, man. It's very close. All right. It's very close, man. It is so much things happening, bro, at the same time. All right. It's hard to keep up with everything. But, you try your best to keep up, with major news, and information, right? We, see the tension between Russia and America, right? You got the Gaza war going on, the tension between America and China with Taiwan, Iran and Israel. Okay, that's beefing up. I mean, there's so much happening, man. Okay, North Korea, South Korea, they're throwing shots at each other. India and China throwing shots at each other. Everybody everywhere is on edge, man. Okay, and these things are going to lead to the war of Armageddon, right? We see the MOTB system being established all around the world amongst all these nations. It's crazy, man. All right, it is crazy, but it's prophecy. Okay, it says there will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. And we see this all the time, man. All right, but it's really going to increase and get crazier once we get, closer to the end, man. We're seeing, the so-called, right-wing people, against the left-wing people. This tension between, Republicans and Democrats, and Donald Trump is crazy, bro. And the people who follow Donald Trump, I mean, they worship him as a god. They even made like a Christian gospel song saying that Donald Trump is the chosen one. The Esau crazy, man. But see what it is that Esau see his country dying. He see his country slipping. All right. And they're pissed. They're angry. All right. And they want to take their anger out on Jake. Esau wants to take his anger out on Jake, bro. On both southern and northern kingdom. Right. They're mad, people crossing the border. You had a few, so-called immigrants to unalive a few Edomites, a few of their children, right? One recently, it was a young Edomite woman, all right? She got snatched up by one of those immigrants or migrants, all right? And she got unalived. And boy, Esau was pissed, all right? They was pissed. And they're mad, man. So they're going to take it there, bro, all right? It says there will no longer be free access to the cities. And why is that? Because they're gonna pretty much set up martial law and checkpoints, man, to try and establish control in the planet Earth, right? Because if all hell breaking loose, man, they're gonna have to try to get some order. So they're gonna declare martial law. Put tanks in the streets, use robots, all kind of things, man, weapons and drones, trying to get some control, man. So it's going to happen. All right. There will be, there will no longer be free access to the cities because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion everywhere people live. Driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. So this economic collapse, all right, is going to cause people to assault their neighbors, man, all right, to invade one another, to take their goods, even, getting to the point to where, they're going to take each other's lives, man. That's how serious it's going to get, bro, all right? You might have your neighbor, okay, who has just enough food for his family, right? But then your other neighbor, he ain't got no food, and he said that you got food, man. And he tried to ask you nicely, hey, man, let me just have a portion, all right, for my children. They're hungry, man. I can go without food, but my children need to eat. And then you like, nah, I can't give it to you, bro. Like, no. He ain't trying to hear no. He ain't trying to hear no, bro. He want what you got. And look, hey, it's gonna drive him to do something that you thought that that your neighbor would never do to you. And that's unalive you, man. For your possessions. All right. Bro, it's gonna be groups of men, together, little bands of men together, going around, right? Taking what they can, people getting shot. It's gonna be wild. I mean, you can pretty much see it in your mind, man, of how crazy it's gonna get, Just watch these movies, right? They're giving you, glimpses of how things are gonna be. So that's what that, a collapse gonna bring these things right here, man. That's written in Second Ezra 15 and 16, right? So here we go.
To date, anyone who's potentially threatened the status of the petrodollar hasn't fared well. Libyan strongman Muammar Gaddafi publicly pushed for a Pan-African gold-backed currency that he would trade for Libya's oil. He was killed during a US-backed revolution in 2011. And just a few short years before, Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein advocated selling oil for euros.
At this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq.
The U.S. invaded under the guise of looking for WMDs.
Iraq did not have any weapons of mass destruction. And interestingly enough, after the Americans invaded, took over, put in their own government, the whole concept of selling oil in euros never surfaced again.
Today, many countries resent the current petrodollar system, and their leading spokesperson is none other than Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Americans should be very worried about what Putin can be. There is a new Cold War going on. It is the Colder War. That is exactly what's going on. And who's in the center of this push? Vladimir Putin. And the petrodollar is so crucial to the Colder War. The only thing holding America right now at the top is the petrodollar. And let me make it very clear. If the petrodollar dies, so does America as a superpower.
So it's dying. So it's not going to happen immediately. That was quite a stat, right? 70% of all $100 bills are outside the United States. There's more $100 bills in Russia than there are in the United States. That's quite so. That's so all the countries can trade with each other. They use dollars, but they're going off that. That's what BRICS is. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And now I've heard Turkey wants to join BRICS. There's 80 countries I've also heard wants to join BRICS. So the United States dollar as the reserve currency of the world is going away. And it's not going to happen overnight, but it's on its way. It will happen within 10 years. So it's going to happen slowly, not immediately, but Saudi Arabia already started.
We ain't got 10 years. More than likely, bro. I know goddamn 10 years. Okay, the Most High gonna speed this thing up, man. I believe through the Spirit, bro. You know? Ain't gonna take no damn 10 years. They're gonna bring in a new system, bro. Okay? It's known as the 2030 agenda. They want this stuff to happen before 2030 so that they can have that new system already in place, okay? And 2030 is what? 7 years from now? Right? No, 6 years. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm behind a year. It's 2024. Damn, yeah, it's 2024. So 6 years from now. That's no time. Before you know it, it's gonna be 2025, man. And time just rolling, passing by, man. All right? Time is flying. It ain't gonna take that long for this stuff to go down, man. This is up to the Most High, bro. But that's all, that I want to put on this video. You can watch the rest of it. But just wanted to highlight the point of, once this stuff truly goes down, it's going to be hell everywhere, man. So just keep praying out there, man. Keep working on yourself because things will get very interesting soon. I'll praise you. How about Shema Shai? Shalom.